During that time, you were telling me, we were talking about before the show, that's when you got a role on Friends.
Yeah, I had to actually kind of like play hooky from my job. Like the lot I worked on is called the ranch.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like, it used to shoot a lot of stuff out there.
The Friends fountain is on that damn ranch.
Yeah, well, and that is still there. That's one of the things that's still there. And some of that neighborhood right there were like
American Beauty, I think, right?
Pleasantville and Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and lots of stuff. Small Soldiers was like, also that was the fun thing about working on that lot is that, I could just wander out of my office and go and stand and watch them, shoot something interesting.
And you had that golf cart you were allowed to tool around.
Yeah, you could tool around in golf carts. But the Friends fountain, I didn't, I wasn't, I don't think I was working there yet when they shot that sequence or whatever. But that fountain is still there. And what was the point of this story?
You getting on Friends.
Oh, yeah. So I've got the Friends fountain right outside my office at a job where I have to not tell them I'm going to audition for a part on Friends. And then I didn't really think it through because it was one of those things where they just brought in 3 people to audition. They were just like, let's just bring in 3 people that the casting director likes, and we'll just go with one of them because it's only a couple of lines. And so it was me and 2 other dudes, and they're like, and we're going to tell you on the spot if you got it or not. And once we tell you you've got it, then you've got to go to rehearsal. Rehearsal's going to happen right away.
Damn.
Yeah. So within 15 minutes of being told I got the part, I'm standing there saying those lines to Jennifer Aniston.
With her, she is there.
Yeah. Yeah, because they just took me right.
Never happens.
They just took me right over to the set, and they're just like, okay, let's do the scene, and we just did it like a couple of times. And then that was on a Wednesday, and then I didn't have to come back till Friday, but I had to be there for like 12 hours. So I gave them some excuse that I wouldn't be at work on that Friday. And then I don't know when, maybe a few months, years, decade later, I told those guys, yeah, I ditched work to go get a part on Friends.
We just watched
Thanks for not noticing,
That's a
guys.
good scene. That's a good scene.
Well, that's the thing is they gave me that one line. My mom calls it bloomies, that for whatever reason, when I say it, it makes people laugh.
Yeah.
Like I don't even, I say it very enthusiastically, but I didn't really think of it as a punchline. But when we tape that scene, first of all, they do the whole show in order, and they shoot every scene multiple times, and they take breaks to discuss punching up jokes and stuff. So it's like, the taping goes into the night. If people leave, they have people waiting outside to take their seats.
Oh, shit.
They have a warm-up person that just is constantly giving away shit because they just, want to keep them there the whole time and keep them up. So my scene doesn't start shooting until 11:30 p.m. at a taping that started at like 7. And I say my line, and the audience laughs so hard and for so long that Jennifer Aniston just has to stand there and wait for the laughter to go away. It's just not, doesn't make sense.
Right.
You can't put that on TV. Yeah. Some guy wandering in and saying one thing and everybody falls out. And then, so they go, let's do that again. And we do it the second time and they don't laugh as hard. And that's the one that, that they used. Yeah. But,
the HoneyDew take. What the fuck they used.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was, all of it was very nerve-wracking because I was, very excited about the show Friends and about, Jennifer Aniston was probably my number one crush at the time.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in this scene with her where I'm acting like an idiot and she blows me off. And, I blow her off at the end of the scene, but it looks like it's because he thinks she's, blowing him or, she's being mean to him or rude to him. I don't know what's going through that character's head. I would have stayed in the game. It was Jennifer Aniston looking she was really dressed up. Like she had a nice fur coat on and probably faux fur.
Courtney Cox standing right behind.
It was one of her better hairstyles because, after the Rachel, she had a real issues with making sure that she could come up with another thing that was as good. But yeah, I probably overdid it on the goodbye hug at the end of the
at the end
of the night. No wrap party.
Oh, you didn't get to go?
No, I mean, she partied in the arms of Brad Pitt, I'm sure.
Oh, is that who she was?
Because they were together at the time. Like, when she wasn't in a scene, she'd just be in her dressing room with Brad, and he was in there playing video games. And whenever Matt LeBlanc or Matthew Perry wasn't in a scene, they'd be in there playing video games with Brad Pitt.
Where else would you be? Right?
Ross was not invited. I wonder why.
I like you call him Ross.
Yeah, I didn't need to besmirch Schwimmer. No, he was the nicest of the boys. He's the only boy that really talked directly to me while I was there, because you're not there for very long. You're not really with them. But here was the craziest part. I'm a big fan of the show. Imagine you're a big fan of a show,
and it's at its height,
and it's huge, and you're there for the tape day, and you've done the scene like maybe 3 or 4 times at most, and the entire cast, which is just the 6 friends and whoever the guest stars are. So in this case, it was probably like 10 or 12 people. They all just go into the makeup room while the ladies are getting their final touch-ups, and they just run, without looking at a script, all the lines of the episode. So I got to just be in a room where the friends and everybody else just acted out an episode of Friends right before we were going to go do it in front of an audience.
Acting is so weird. Could you imagine if I was getting my makeup done, you were like, Ryan, I'm just going to run my hour set real quick for you, and you just started doing your fucking set while I was getting makeup done? That would be so weird.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for my scene is at the end of the episode, right, yeah. So I'm waiting through the whole thing. If I fuck up my lines in front of these people... Did you drop yours during your part? Did you pipe up during your part when it came in the run-through? What do you mean pipe up?
Like when you had your
louder?
No, when they were doing the run through in the makeup room, were you in there and did you include your line with her? Did you do
That's
it
what
there
I'm saying.
too?
We're all there to do our lines.
You all had to do it.
We're all acting out the show.
Not just the main characters and their scenes, the whole show.
The whole thing.
That is so weird. It is.
Yeah, but it's like I'm a huge fan of the show. Yeah, but I'm also like I'm alone there because I kind of know a couple of the other actors, but I don't really, there's no one to turn and be like, can you believe this?
Right, yeah.
Can you believe this shit's happening? And and so then they also make little comments as it goes along.
Like creative criticism?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And, I gathered from being there that Lisa Kudrow and Matthew Perry were the most hands-on about their lines and stuff. But at one point, Ross is saying something, and Jennifer Aniston goes, I would never be in any kind of relationship with that person. Like, she just straight up just says that she would hate Ross and not want to have anything to do with him.
That would have shattered everything if people heard that.
And then in my scene with Jennifer, I say, she says something weird that I don't understand. So then I go, I'm going to go talk to a friend. And then I walk away. And when I said that in the line reading run through, and it's all just so that they can know their lines, make sure they know their lines. But so then it's not like everybody's really acting it out. But I said, I'm going to go talk to a friend or whatever I say. And then Matthew Perry looks at Lisa Kudrow and goes, he's going to go talk to a friend? Great line. And I'm like, dude, I didn't write it. I just said it.
Oh,
but it's also like, now I got to go out and sell it for the audience. So I made sure that I got a laugh.
Well, I'm going to go tell
Fuck you, Matthew Perry. But he was on a bunch of shit at that time, I think. I think it might have been one of his more druggier times.
I didn't think you were talking about different shows. Yeah.
And then, but then many years later, I ran into him and interacted with him a little bit, and he was super nice, but also super sober. So I could feel him judging me a little bit for being a pothead.
Did you drop that fucking? You know, I didn't fucking write that line, right, bro? Your writers wrote that shit.
I let that go because I didn't necessarily disagree with him about the quality of that line.
But you didn't write it.
Yeah.